So it's now Sunday. Preseason has started. We've witnessed 3 quarterback debuts, 3 of the top 5 picks in the 2023 NFL draft. Bryce Young being number 1, CJ Stroud being number 2, Anthony Richardson being number 4. And today I want to talk about kind of what I saw out of all 3 of the guys, talking about some of the things I can expect in their rookie seasons, and really just what did I learn from the debuts of these guys. Now, statistically, I don't want to talk about statistics. I want to talk about a lot of things outside of just the pure raw stats because CJ Stroud, 2 of 4, had an interception, took a sack. Bryce Young, 4 of 6. Anthony Richardson went 7 of 12. So he also had an interception, but I don't think that can give us the full take on these guys and some of the things that we could learn from the game. So I want to start off with Bryce Young in saying that Bryce Young, although he only completed 4 passes, I'm very confident in Bryce Young. And I was listening to something the other day talking about what makes a quarterback elite, because I think we have a great tier and we can look at kind of Justin Herberts and Lamar Jacksons. And then we have the elite where we step a little bit further. And that's where we get into Joe Burrow, Patrick Mahomes, guys who are really separating themselves amongst the others. So what makes a guy elite? First off, I think we need to start a petition right now. Me, you who's watching, everybody in the comments, we can start a GoFundMe or something. If we start lifting weights today, possibly by the end of training camp or before the regular season, we'll be in enough shape and we'll be big and strong enough to play right guard for the Carolina Panthers because it was absolutely ugly. So that's the first thing I want to say. But Bryce Young stood in the pocket. His pocket presence is what's going to separate him from a lot of people in the NFL. Also, he was making full read progressions. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's not there. Check it down. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ooh, last read is there. Throw the football. Pretty quick release. Everything that I saw to him, I liked. Even though the offensive line was not playing their best, he still had a great game from what I saw. And I think that decision making, pocket presence, he's going to be the real deal if he can stay healthy, and I think he will. He took some big hits in the preseason game, but he still stood up to it, had the pocket presence, even with the pressure being in his face. So that's something you got to love with Bryce Young. But getting into the other guys, because I think it's that we kind of see situation has been everything. And I say that because while I did like what I saw of Bryce Young, while I do think that he has the best pocket presence, accuracy is there, everything. He has the total package. But I would say personally, for me, not even talking about statistics, just how the eye test, what I felt from the game, I think Anthony Richardson had the best performance to me. Now, kind of had the boneheaded pick to start the game off, but outside of that, I thought he was exceptional. Looking at some of the other things he did once he bounced back, and Alec Pierce had the drop on the big-time completion he would have had, and I think that would have changed the entire narrative of Anthony Richardson's debut because it was a bomb down the field. Alec Pierce, a burner out of Cincinnati, couldn't hang on to the ball after the contact with the ground. But he also had another drop against some tight coverage. But looking at that, they had the starters out with them, Michael Pittman, Isaiah McKenzie's, and he looked pretty solid. Had Evan Hull in the backfield. So I liked what I saw from Anthony Richardson. And when he missed, he was either high or he was a bit wide. So I think that cleaning some of that up with the footwork, with the mechanics, and keep those few and far in between, because I think he can do it. It's probably going to take a year. This year, we may see some of the inaccuracies, dealing with not being as consistent, being accurate down the football field in the short passing game. We may see that early, but it's nothing to truly worry about because I know his work ethic. I know he's going to put in the work, and by year 2, year 3, it's not going to be a problem. And if it does happen, it'll be 3 to 4 times a game where he's truly missing a guy completely. So I know he had a ball that was wide to one of his receivers, and then he had a ball that was high to Michael Pittman. There was a flag on that play, but he had a ball that was high to Michael Pittman. But I like what I saw. Decision-making outside of the interception. And really on the interception with Anthony Richardson, he threw the ball, and it looked, because it was Micah Hyde on Isaiah McKenzie, I believe, and he ran an out route, and he threw the ball, but I don't know if he was really sold on the decision because the ball sailed high when he threw it to the outside, and then it was just a pick. You missed that bad. The corner sitting right there behind him, so that was one thing that you had with the pick. But outside of that, ran a couple read option plays, scramble, got out of the pocket on 1 or 2 plays, broke some tackles. We're seeing that physicality, and he was listed at 244. He said out of his own mouth that he's trying to get up to about 250 plus for his playing weight. and I think he can carry it well. Didn't look like he lacked mobility at all in the preseason debut. So I say situation is everything, and it brings me back to the point. I think that there's a case Anthony Richardson can have a great rookie season. I truly think that even with Gardner Minshew, I think that Anthony Richardson has separated himself as the guy in Indianapolis. So if he continues to build on what he already showed in the preseason debut, with the offensive line, I think Bryce Young, contrary to what we all saw, I think he has the best offensive line. I think when Austin Corbett comes back, that may change some things. So I want to say I think with an asterisk beside it. But looking at the Colts offensive, the Texans have the worst offensive. Now, Titus Howard and Laramie Tunsil, when those two guys get clicking and they're fully in there along with the rest of the pieces, that may be different. Titus Howard, I know for sure he didn't play in the preseason debut for the Texans, so I think the Colts possibly – last year was tough. So it's tough to say with the offensive lines, but I know the Panthers deep down inside have a good offensive line. And now getting into C.J. Stroud. Because like I said, I expect Anthony Richardson to have a good rookie season. If Bryce Young struggles, I think it'll be because of his situation and some of the things around him. Anthony Richardson, I think he has receivers around him. Pretty decent offensive line. Jonathan Taylor's going to be in the backfield. Pretty solid defense, hopefully. Shaquille Leonard coming back. So now getting into C.J. Stroud once again. Through the pick was bad. The pick was bad for Anthony Richardson. The pick was bad for C.J. Stroud. But the offensive line did not try to help him at all. They did not try to help him at all. He took a big hit. It was getting pressured. And like I said, he was 2 of 4 with the pick. So the 2 completions he had, they weren't big-time completions, but they were good plays where he showed pocket presence, mobility, footwork, got the ball to his receiver. So I like to see that. And I'm not really worried about C.J. Stroud like a lot of people are after seeing the game. I think he'll be fine. They're all going to be good quarterbacks, in my opinion. But like I said, what we've seen so far, and just off one game. Now, you don't want to take the preseason and run with it. You don't want to swing one way or swing the other way just based off preseason. But I think that what we're seeing in situations means everything. So I say that Anthony Richardson may have the best rookie season because I'm starting to look at the situation. I'm looking a bit deeper into things and looking at some of the things for the Carolina Panthers. Bryce Young's going to be good, but is he in a better situation currently constructed than Anthony Richardson? I think that's a question we have to have. I think that C.J. Stroud is in the toughest situation. Now, Tank Dell, Xavier Hutchinson showed me some things, Nico Collins, but looking at the totality of the game, it just wasn't a lot of help for C.J. And, of course, I think the biggest knock on him, what we've all said, outside of the Georgia game, when he faces pressure, when he faces different things, can he create? When he's going against blitzes and stunts, can he create outside of the pocket? Can he create within the pocket? Step up and run through? Just the type of question we have with CJ. But I'm not worried. I think he'll bounce back. I think Bryce Young will have a better outing. Hopefully he gets some more snaps in the second preseason game. Anthony Richardson showed me a lot of things outside of the pick that I really did like to see. So a question I don't want to exit out of here with, who's going to have the brightest future? I think it's a tough one, but I want you guys to tell me. Because I've said what I had to say. I want to know down below in the comments who's going to have the brightest future. Anthony Richardson, if he hits the ceiling and become an alien. C.J. Stroud, if he builds it with the Texans. Bryce Young, if he continues to be himself. He's already that guy from talent perspective, but with the situation, will he elevate that situation with those receivers, with the kind of struggles we're seeing at right guard, but Austin Corbett's coming back. So want to know what you think about that, and I'm booking it. I think Anthony Richardson has the best rookie season because I've looked some more into his situation, and I really like that for him. Thank you for watching. As always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. That's going to do it for today's show, and now, yeah.